In this video, we're going to talk about another type of graph called an ogive. And you'll notice you see that frequency table we've been using for the last two videos for histograms and frequency polygons. Ogives are a related type of graph. These graphs are going to show us the class boundaries, which we saw plotted in our histograms, versus the cumulative relative frequency for quantitative data. Meaning, instead of looking at class limits or class boundaries and frequency, now I'm looking at class limits and a running total of the percentage or relative frequency. So steps are going to look very similar to start with. If you don't have one, you construct a frequency table. We have one from a previous example. The next thing we're going to do is we are going to calculate. Why am I having a total brain fart? We are going to calculate the cumulative relative frequency for the data if it's not already there. In our case, we did that when we built our table, so we're ahead of the game. Next, we're going to draw and label our axes, and we're going to scale all our axes with the class boundaries. So let's go ahead and add those class boundaries back into our table. We know they're in between, so I'm going to have a boundary here at 2.5 between 2 and 3. Between 4 and 5 is 4.5, 6.5, 8.5. And then I need ones at the beginning and end of the table as well. So subtracting 2 is 0.5, adding 2 is 10.5. And those were the same class boundaries we had for our histogram. So I'm going to scale my axis using the boundaries on the x and the cumulative relative frequency on the y. So on the y, I need to go all the way up to 1. I think I've left myself enough room to do that. And then on the x-axis, I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 hash marks, 6 class boundaries. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And again, we label it. So these are my class boundaries. Y is my frequency. And I'm going to go ahead and attach a scale to those axes. All right, so sorry for the noise, the joy of living in an apartment complex. The next step, now that we have a scale on our axes, is we're going to plot the points for boundaries versus cumulative relative frequency. And the cumulative relative frequency is the amount of data or percent of data less than that boundary. So looking at this first boundary at 0.05, remember that my smallest data value was 1. I don't have any data less than 0.5. So my first point in a ogive is always on the x-axis. I'm always starting at 0. And then we're going to pair them off. So my next one 2.5 goes with 3. Not 3, sorry. 2.5 goes with 15%. So that would be right here. 4.5 goes with 40%. 6.5 goes with 55%. 8.5 goes with 60%. And then my very last boundary, 10.5, goes with 1, because all of my data is less than 10.5. My maximum was 10. You'll see the very last direction is just like with our frequency polygon. We're going to connect those points with straight lines. You're going to notice a pattern with these ogives. They generally form a vague kind of S-shaped curve because they always start at 0. They always end at a height of 1. And there's usually 1 or 2 places where they jump rapidly and then kind of level off. So we get kind of wonky S-shaped curves here. That is common for ogives. All right. If you have any questions about how we built our ogive, feel free to send me an email or drop by office hours on Thursday at 7 p.m. Otherwise, I'll see you in our next video.